Good afternoon. Thank you for joining the Saskatchewan Retirees Association webcast. Today, our topic is the GMS Care Network. My name is Randy Dove. I'm the president of the Saskatchewan Retirees Association, and we're very thrilled to have this as one of the biggest webcasts we've ever done. At the start of this, we see 121 people have logged in, and so that's a terrific response, and we thank you for that. We do want to acknowledge that the land where this webcast originates is Treaty 4 territory, the traditional territory of Indigenous people and the homeland of the Métis. The SRA mandate is to provide services and support to retirees from the provincial public service. We have now reached 4,000 members, and we continue to grow at a good rate. And so we're pleased and thankful to each of you for supporting the organization. We now have also over 90 organizational members, that are supporting us. That's through the executive government, through the Crown's agency boards and commissions, the Health Authority, and the two universities, regional colleges, and SAS Polytech. So we have a wide range of organizations that are also part of this organization. When we surveyed you back in 2022, we asked you, what did you want from the SRA in terms of information and education? And you responded quite strongly. 1,600 people responded saying that you would like to hear more communication from us, more services, more information. And so we've embarked on this concept of webcasts and webinars over the last year or so to fulfill that expectation and to bring you more information about a variety of topics. You may have tuned in the past where we've done some different topics, and each one of them has had its own success and its own audience. And your feedback has been very encouraging and very positive. So we're very thankful for that. A few housekeeping instructional things before we get rolling here. If you have a question or comment, you'll see on your screen on the right side, there's an Ask Questions box. We'd ask you to use that during the presentations and during the webcast to ask any questions or make any comments that you wish. All the questions will be pulled together, and we will deal with those with our presenters at the end of their presentations. And so we encourage you to do that. When we get to the questions, you will be identified by first name only, so you'll know that your question was dealt with. The questions will be grouped together so that we won't ask the same question over and over of our presenters. We will have them grouped together. I want to introduce Bill Thompson. Bill is one of the SRA directors. Bill's helping us with the process today. He'll be handling the questions. So when you send in your question, Bill will see it. He will put it together with other questions and bring those forward at the end of the session. So welcome, Bill. Give us a wave. Thank you. If you have any technical difficulties during the webcast, please click the tech support button on the top right of your screen, and VoiceWorks will attempt to resolve your issue. So as part of today, we do have a little bit of background information just to set the stage for our presenters. And so some information, these slides will come up in front of you. But in recent information from Stats Canada, we now know that 18.3% of adult Canadians are reporting that they've experienced some form of mental illness. And of people 40 years or older, 50% of those adults have reported some form of mental illness or some form of mental condition. The SRA deliberately added what we call our member assistance program to our bundle of health benefits several years ago as a way to round out the offerings that we had for you. Much of the health plan deals with, of course, physical illness. And we felt that we had a gap in dealing with the emotional side, or the mental side. And so we talked with GMS, and we were able to bring forward a program that we're now extending and expanding through the new service provider and the new service offerings. And you'll hear a bit more about that in the next couple of minutes. Our usage on this program has been lower than typically what we find in other employers or other plans like this. We've had a usage running either generally less than 3% of our overall membership. And so that's quite low. That's not, it shouldn't be seen as a negative, but we do think that might mean there are some people amongst our members that have some needs that perhaps have not just stepped forward yet, or we haven't reached yet. And much of the usage that, the limited usage there is, but much of the usage that is there has related to depression and anxiety. Those seem to be the top ones. And you probably hear lots of that in the marketplace these days, lots on the news and in the media about those issues. Lots and lots of questions about mental illness, addictions, and the like. And so we also think this is a very timely program for us. And by your willingness to join us today, it looks like you do too. And so that's really important. So let's get on with the real presentations here. So I'm now going to introduce Harold Hug. Harold is our Vice President, and Harold is going to introduce our speakers today. So over to you, Harold.
Thanks, Randy, and good afternoon. My name is Harold Hug, as Randy mentioned, and I'm the Vice President of SRA and the Chair of the Group Benefits Committee. And it's my pleasure today to introduce our guest speaker, Freya Bahati, and from Greenshields Canada, and Remy Sansui from GMS. Freya is a Senior Account Manager with Greenshields Health, and she has over 15 years of account management experience working with both private and public sector organizations supporting mental health programs. Beyond work, as an account manager, Freya is also a mental health counselor specializing in work with adults with disabilities. Remy is the Director of Customer Segments and Marketing at GMS Insurance. With 25 years experience working in the banking and oil and gas industries, Remy comes with a vast knowledge in product development, marketing, and business analytics. He is committed to the continuous improvement and product development processes that deliver solutions to consumer needs and deploying proven marketing strategies. Outside work, Remy is a soccer fan and loves working with young adults. He volunteers as a youth mentor in his community. Freya will be doing the presentation this afternoon, and Remy will be assisting with questions. I turn it over to you now, Freya.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. It's really great to be here. As mentioned, I am a mental health counselor on top of, being an account manager. So this topic is very personal to me and it is a passion of mine. So, very honored to be here to get to talk about this today. So as mentioned, we're going to be going through your new GMS Care Network, the health services. So we will be spending the majority of the time going through the counseling services. And I will also touch upon the other services that are available through your GMS Care Network program, which also includes telemedicine. Okay, before we dive into the details of the program in particular, I did want to just highlight a little of what the programs are about. So they are confidential and can help with, all aspects of life. If you're going through personal concerns, relationship concerns, family problems, or even physical ailments, physical symptoms, and you'd like to speak to a doctor, we are here to help at any time and any place that is convenient for you. The service is also strictly confidential, and confidentiality is a really important part of the program. And so I'm going to touch upon it a little later on through my presentation today as well. We're also digital first. And so what that means is you can access services via video, like we're meeting today, on the phone. But for mental health services, those can also be accessed in person. So, again, being very flexible and trying to meet you where you're at. Now, let's talk a little bit more specifically about the counseling services. So when you sign up through your GMS Care Network, you do have access to our network of counselors. And so you'll be working with one of our registered counselors who are highly experienced across all types of mental health concerns, from stress, depression, loneliness, anxiety. The list on your screen is by no means an exhaustive list, but just gives you an idea of just some of the things you can speak to one of our counselors about. Now, in order to be part of our network, We do ask counselors to have a minimum of 5 years of clinical experience, have a master's degree level education, and be in good standing with their colleges. Currently, on average, our clinical team actually has 12 years of experience. So you're going to be in really good hands with whoever you're working with when you sign up. And because we have such a robust network, it does allow us to offer counseling in over 30 different languages. And it does allow us to be culturally diverse in our approach. And when I go through the demo of the actual platform, you'll see exactly how you can select what language you'd like counseling in and how we do honor the cultural diversity of the service. Now, we have this really great, robust network, but we also understand how important it is for you to find the right fit of counselor within that network. So for this reason, we've actually put a lot of emphasis into the matching process between you and a counselor. So we've created a proprietary matching survey that asks you a series of questions based on your clinical needs as well as your personal preferences. And based on the answers provided on that survey, it pulls forward counselors that it feels you're going to work the best with. And so when I go through the demo today, I'll actually go through the matching process so you can see exactly what those questions look like and how it filters out the counselors to be best suited for your needs. We also understand, going back to, the importance between the fit between you and the counselor, we do offer a free 15-minute consultation with your selected counselor for free. And so what that does is it allows you the opportunity to see if the counselor that you picked through that matching survey is in fact a good fit. So you can ask that counselor any questions, see if their approach to care really matches what you need. Let's say if after you have that free 15-minute consultation, you realize, I don't think it's actually a really good fit. You can actually go back into the platform, unmatch with them, rematch with a new counselor, get another free 15-minute consult with them, and see if that's a better fit. And once you've decided on the counselor that you would like to work with, every member will get 5 hours of individual counseling and 5 hours of couples counseling. So these are their own separate, I like to call them buckets. So you get 5 hours of individual in their own separate bucket and 5 hours of couples counseling. Now, let's say you've gone through the 5 hours, you've exhausted all the hours, and you're really making some good momentum in counseling, and you could really use that 6th, 7th hour. You can continue on seeing the same counselor without any disruption to care. You don't need to go through the matching survey again. You just simply continue on. All that you'll see is what happens at that point is our counseling rates will pop up. So those are $90 an hour for virtual counseling. And we will be asking for credit card information so you can just continue on with counseling seamlessly. What you will also get is a receipt at the end of your counseling session. So if you do have coverage, you can submit that for reimbursement or pay out of pocket. So whatever makes most sense for you. And it is important to note too that the 5 hours of counseling is also available to your eligible spouse and dependents. So they get their own 5 hours of individual counseling and their own 5 hours of couples counseling. So to access your program, you do go to the URL here, which is app.gmscarenetwork.ca. There are some pieces of information that you will need in order to access. So one of them is called an organization code, and the organization code for SRA is GMS 282368. You may have seen that communicated to you already through an email or through SRA directly, but that is your organization code. And you'll also need a member ID, and that's a ID that is unique to you. If at any time you have any questions or you're running into any technical issues, there are a variety of ways to reach out to us for support. The first one being you can email us at support@greenshield.ca. We also have a phone number that you can reach out to us, which is 1-866-798-6793, and we'll be able to help support you or answer any questions you may have about the program. Okay, so beyond just the mental health counseling, we really recognize that mental health doesn't really work in a silo, right? You might be going through some of those mental health concerns, but we really want to look at mental health in a really holistic a way. So we do offer what we call work, health, and life support services. So this includes legal consultations, financial consultations, health coaching or life transitions, and career coaching. And so legal consultations are a 15-minute, a 30-minute consult with a lawyer, and you can really ask any question that you may have. It could be related to real estate, wills and estate planning, any family matters that you might be going through, divorce issues. And these are unlimited. So as many times as you need to reach out to the legal services, you can do so. Financial consultations works in a similar manner where you'll get a 30-minute consult with a financial advisor. You can ask any questions related to credit management, budgeting, investment, retirement planning. And these are also unlimited. So that means you can reach out as many times as you need to for financial advice. Now, for our coaching services, these you will get 5 hours of each. So you'll get 5 hours of health coaching, 5 hours of life transitions coaching, and 5 hours of career coaching. So health coaching is a really great service. If you have a health goal you're looking to get on track, maybe you've just been newly diagnosed with a health condition and you'd like some more information on it, health coaching will get you connected to one of our nurses. They'll go through a full assessment with you and really develop a wholesome care plan that you can work through. Life transitions or life coaching is a really great service. Every time we go through those big major milestones in life, right? So marriage, separation, maybe you're adjusting to retirement, or you have some elder care needs that you're taking care of elders. Any of those major life transitions we all go through, life coaching is great service for that. And career coaching, maybe applicable or not here, is really great service where you can talk to a accredited career coach. It's great for retirement planning as well. Similar to counseling, you are able to see any of our coaches for beyond the 5 hours that are allotted, and those come at the same cost of $90 an hour. And as well, you will have access to telemedicine. So telemedicine are virtual doctor visits. These are unlimited consultations with a general practitioner across Canada. So these are available to your dependents as well. So it's not really meant to take, the place of your primary care physician, but, really used as kind of a stopgap, when you might need to see a physician when you don't have the ability to actually go see your doctor. And so you can use the service to get medical advice. There's diagnosis and treatment. You can get prescriptions, lab recs as well. Members and their families who can manage their own health and medical records right within the application. And you do have the option to message securely with your physician, either via audio call or through video. And as well, what is available is what we call internet-based cognitive behavioral therapy. For those who may not be familiar with cognitive behavioral therapy, it is a gold standard theory that is used within counseling to help with all types of different mental health issues, but this program in particular really helps with mild to moderate anxiety and depression. So they are self-paced interactive learning modules, and they can really help someone develop those coping strategies and build that toolkit where it comes to mild and moderate anxiety and depression. I find ICBT is a really good resource for those who may be a little hesitant to really dive into talk therapy with a counselor. Maybe they're a little nervous. You don't have to talk to anyone when you use ICBT. It is, like I mentioned, self-paced interactive modules that you go through on your own. And so it is kind of a nice introduction into therapy if you haven't done it before, but you're kind of wanting to build that toolkit for yourself. So we'll go show you exactly how to access that as well. Again, we also have a mobile app. So, if you're accessing services through your phone. You can find the GMS Care Network via your Android or Apple store. Just simply click in GMS Care Network and it will pop up. So you can book appointments through the app, you can do your video counseling through the app, and have secure messaging as well. So I mentioned confidentiality off the top, and I just wanted to reiterate it again because it really is an important part of the program. If you're accessing services through your GMS Care Network, you can be rest assured that no one's going to know you're using services. SRA won't know, not even GMS will know. It is 100% confidential within the limits of the law. And that even works within family members. If you have maybe a spouse who's accessing counseling, you're not going to know they're using it, and vice versa. So, it's a really important part of the program to know that you're accessing without any concerns that any of your information will be shared. And just quickly, I had mentioned there's a few ways to get into touch with us. So if you ever have any questions, we do have the support line, or you can always email us at support@greenshield.ca. Okay. I'm going to now pop into actually showing the demo. So this is the really exciting part for me. I love this part. Okay, so as I mentioned, you'll go to your gmscarenetwork.ca app, and you'll know you're in the right spot because you'll see the GMS logo at the top. Before I go in, I just want to quickly show everyone how to sign up. So the first time you use the service, you're going to want to click sign up, and you can click it here or down here. And so this is where some of those pieces of information you're going to need will come in. So the first thing you're going to be asked is, how are you accessing GMS Care Network? Are you the member or as a dependent? And so for everyone on the call today, you'll likely be the health services member. So you'll simply click on that. And then this is where your organization code will come into play. So you'll say, I have an organization code, and you'll click continue. And then you can sign up with any email that you would like. So it can be anything. And then you're going to get a verification that's going to go to that email to make sure it's you. So I'm just going to type in that. And we'll continue. And so this is where you're going to type in your ORA code. So it's going to be the GMS, and then it will be, and I did write it down, 282368, and you will continue. And this is where you'll be prompted for your unique member ID. This is the live site, so I don't have a member ID, but what would happen is you would populate it. You would be asked to fill out your personal information and create a password, and away you go. So then it would bring you back to your first page where you would put in the email address that you used to sign up, and then it will take you into your what we call dashboard. And the dashboard is just all the services that are available to you. So here you can see you have your mental health services, your telemedicine services, and your ICBT. So we'll be spending most time on the mental health services. So simply click on the service you would like. You can see here, it even tells you what your coverage is, and you'll simply click Get Started or Launch Now, and it will open up your mental health app. Now, quick caveat here. So we are doing updates to this. So as of May 1st, this page may look a little different for you. All the functionality will be the same, just some of the colors and fonts will be a little different. So just in case you're logging in and all of a sudden it looks a little different, we're making some enhancements. But for today, if you were logging in today, this is what it would look like. So just a couple things here that I want to highlight. The first one is the crisis support. So if you are a family member or ever in need of immediate support, you can reach out to us 24/7, 365, and you will get connected to a master's level clinician that can assist you there. You'll also notice, the hours that you have, that will be here. So it counts it down for you, which is a really nice feature. I mentioned you have 5 hours of the counseling and the coaching. So as you use it, you're able to see how much you have left. I'll chat about who these people are in a moment. And then the Wellness Hub. So this is great for, has a lot of different articles and resources that you can use on a variety of mental health topics. So really great. But I want to show how to go through that matching process with a counselor. So I'm going to go through the individual mental health counselor match today. You'll see there's 2 paths here. Really, the only difference between the 2 is one asks a few more questions just to really hone in on the counselor match. We'll go through Express today. So I'm not going to spend too much time going through each individual question, but just wanted to give you, an idea of what the survey asks for and what it looks like. So you can see the first half of the survey is really asking about, my clinical needs, how I've been feeling lately, how relationships have been going, just overall, how has my mental well-being been? Here I can pick as little or as many as apply to me. If I've been diagnosed in the past by a healthcare practitioner, I have the ability to select that diagnosis. And so what that does is it brings forward counselors that have that background and specialization. So then I'm working with someone who is well-versed within that diagnosis I have. So let's say depression, anxiety, for instance, pretty common ones. Are there any specific stressors happening for me? Maybe loneliness. Where do I spend most time? And then we ask for personal details here so we can match a counselor within your jurisdiction. Okay, so now you can see we're about 80% through the survey. And, the first half really asking about my clinical needs. Now it's flipping to my personal preferences. So I had mentioned, you get the chance to select what language you would like counseling in. So let's say, I feel most comfortable speaking Croatian. I have the ability to select a counselor who meets my clinical criteria in my area that also speaks Croatian. So if a counselor with that, is available, that will pop up for me. And you can see we have, I think we're up to over 40 languages now that you can select, which is really great. And specialties, if I know I am seeking counseling because of grief and loss, I have the ability to select that. So then a counselor with that training and background and knowledge will be put forward to me as someone to work with. And you can see we have, lots of different options to choose from: physical disabilities, palliative care, military vets. So lots of different options to select. And we know religion and spirituality is a really important consideration for a lot of folks. So you have the ability to select that as well. And lastly, I'll just put in my availability. So now what's happening is the platform is taking all of the answers that I've put into the survey and it's picking out counselors who feels I'm going to work the best with. So as a counselor myself, this is the real magic of the platform. You're not just getting assigned any random counselor. I actually get to go through, I can read a little bit about, the counselors, and I get to pick who I want to work with, right? So that's really important part of this process. And you can see here, so this is actually live. So these are real counselors we have on platform. And you can see, I could see someone as early as tomorrow at 7 a.m. So we really do pride ourselves on being able to get that first appointment within 72 hours, which is, can be really important if you're really wanting to, you're in that moment, you're really wanting to talk to someone, it can be fairly quick. Because those are live and I don't want to actually book a fake appointment with them. I do have a demo, I think, queued up for someone here. Hopefully it works. Okay, so it doesn't want to think. So I'm going to go back. So the other thing I wanted to show too is I mentioned that, beyond just the mental health counseling, there were services available that were beyond just the counseling. So there are coaching services as well as legal and financial services. And so that can be found at the tab that says Work, Health, and Life Services. So you can see all of the buckets, if you will, here. And so it's as simple as selecting which service you would like. So we can select, let's say, health coaching. Let's say nutrition is what we're looking for today. You can pick which province you are looking in, put a little blurb about what you're looking for, hit submit, and then you'll get a notification that your request has been received, and you'll get an email from our nurse shortly who will book some time with you, go through that full assessment, and really put together a care plan for you. There is also live chat here. So at any time, if you have any questions and you wanted to reach out to our team, you can simply click this button here and our team will be able to assist you. And it is a live person on the other end. One of my colleagues will be answering there. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go back. So as you build your care team up, they will start to populate on that first page. So you can see I've accessed a career counselor before, a dietitian, ergonomist. So the next time that I want to access services, I can simply do so by just selecting and messaging the provider or booking a session. So it really is easy in that way that you start to build your care team up. Okay, I'm going to go pop over now quickly and show. I'll quickly show telemedicine as well. So again, if you're looking to talk to a general practitioner, you can do so through your GMS Care Network. So this is a really great service, like I mentioned, not necessarily designed to take place of your general practitioner that you have, but really to supplement. I know I used the service. I think it was like 1:30 in the morning on New Year's Eve, and I needed to speak to a doctor knowing that I wasn't going to see mine for a few days. And so this really came in handy then. So you simply just connect into your program, and you can see all your information will be here on your dashboard. Any communication that you have with your physician will be here in your inbox. You can manage your health history and records here as well through the Health Hub. And then these are where all your consultations will be. So if we're going to go through a consultation, it's just as easy as the counselor. So you just select your location. Continue. Oh, I don't want. Let's go back. So I'll do this. And you can see here that the wait time is telling me is approximately 10 minutes, which is great. Continue to specialty. So this is where I can see, okay, if I want a general practitioner visit under my GS Care Network, it is $0. But if I wanted to, get a specialist like a dermatologist or respirologist, I have the ability to do so. I can pay for those services. And so those are also available to me as well. But I just need a GP, so that's good. What am I looking for? Allergy season is here. I was having allergies, so I'm selecting allergies. If I needed a prescription, I have the opportunity to select that as well, put a little bit of detail on what I need, and then I continue on. So then it provides just a summary of everything. And then when I'm ready, I just hit continue provider pairing. I won't go that route because this is live and it will connect me with a real doctor. But it's as simple as that. And then what will happen is the doctor will just start messaging me and ask me a few questions. If he or she deems they would like to get on a video call with me, they will ask my permission to do so, and they will get the video up and going as well. So then we can have kind of a video chat as well. So I'm going to stop there. I want to make sure we have an opportunity to ask questions. I can dive in a little deeper as well. So are there any questions at this stage?
before we go to the questions, I'd just like to thank you,
Yes.
Priya, for your presentation. That's a, a good amount of information for us to digest. Might take people a moment or two to think about that. From the Retirees Association point of view, we are really pleased to have this expansion of opportunity for our members. So it's not just limited to what we might call traditional counseling, but it provides a whole menu of opportunities for people who have needs and who have said to us that they are looking for support. You know, the notion of mental health, of course, is top of mind, and it's clearly something that was the genesis of why we started down this path. But the thoughts here around the life services support, the telemedicine, those are quite unique new opportunities for us that I think that we'll see our members take advantage of. Getting a question maybe about their medical situation, or a legal question, or a bit of help with financial planning, and might be helpful. You know, one of the slides you showed something around career coaching, or that. We have a growing number of members that are looking for more like post-retirement career plan.
Yep, very common. Yep,
And we have a growing number of members that are actually going back to work.
yep.
They have retired and then, you know, had some thoughts, whether it's for a variety of reasons, whether it's financial, whether it's relationships and networking,
Social, yep.
social loneliness. Um, and I think post-pandemic, people, you know, it's a different world. And so people have made some different decisions. And so we do have an opportunity through our relationship with GMS to accommodate that. Often people are going back into term roles. They're not going back into sort of a permanent role. And sometimes nowadays they're being hired back by their former employer, which is also an interesting change from, I guess, traditional employment relationships. So I would thank you very much. I think hopefully there's been lots of questions coming in, and I think it's probably time to turn it over back to Bill to start the questions. And so, Bill, if you can provide the questioner's first name, and then whether you're sending it to Freya or over to Remy, leave that to your discretion. So over to you.
Okay, I think seems to be a lot of questions on the 5 hours. So first question's about, is the 5 hours only per year? And then does it refresh the next year?
So it is for the year, and it does refresh every year.
Okay. If you're not in relation, this is from Viral. If you're not in a relationship for couples counseling, can you use those for individual counseling?
Unfortunately, we can't move the bucket of hours within it. So no, we can't do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe I should just mention too that by the time you are done with your 5 hours of sponsored hours, you can always, because you have some benefits for clinical psychologists, you can use part of that to pay for the invoiced hours on GMS Care Network. So what happens is you can pay out of pocket and take your invoice to go to get reimbursed by GMS on the benefit side.
Okay. Next question here is, okay. Again, it's a little bit talking about the year again. Is it like, is the coverage year January to January, or is it April to April, or does it depend on when you start your service?
Remy, can I defer to you on when?
Okay, so as at this time, it is a January to December year, but I know that SRA's year is a July to June year. We are giving you this for free from March, and you're going to have that till June. So we've shown, we've given that out for free, so that doesn't count can use it for free. But I believe that by the time we are running the renewals, we'll be able to clearly define what the year will be in terms of is it July to June or January to December. But as it is now, the way we're running it, it's January to December that we're running. So by the time we're running the renewals, I believe we should be able to give you a more certain and absolute answer about that.
You know, the policy year for all of our group benefits is July to June, and so
Yeah.
our anticipation is that's the way it would be. And so for the questioner, I think if this started March 1st, and so there's a period of counseling service, 5 hours allowed. And I would say the way it is right now, the concept would be you'd have 5 hours between now and the end of June, and then the clock would refresh and you'd start over. And so that's how all the benefits work. And so I think that there'd be no reason why we would see anything different here.
Okay, absolutely. That's fine.
Little more questions on the 5 hours again. This is from Mark. So is it 5 hours for each service, or a total of 5 hours split amongst health, life, transition, career coaching?
It's 5 hours for each, so it's pretty robust. So you'll get 5 hours of health coaching, 5 hours of life coaching, 5 hours of career coaching, so 15 hours there, and then 5 hours for individual, 5 hours for couples.
Perfect. Okay, this one is from Elsie. How about those who live out of province? Do we get the same level of service?
Yes. So as long as you're within Canada, you are able to access services. So for the counseling services, it will you will just get matched with a counselor within the province that you're residing in at the time.
Yeah, that is an important question. We have over 250 members that no longer live in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And they typically are more in Western Canada, but we do have members across the country. And so that's, I think, an important thing for the questioner to understand that if they happen to reside in British Columbia, that they still have access to the service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this is a question from Ken. My doctor's retiring soon. Can't seem to find a replacement. Will I be able to contact telemedicine to continue to get my prescriptions and blood testing requirements?
Yes. So yes, absolutely. You can reach out. Again, it's unlimited, so as many times as you need to reach out, you can do so. The caveat being is there's no guarantee you're going to speak to the same doctor on the telemed. So while you have a relationship with your primary practitioner, with the telemedicine program, you can get the service, you can get your prescriptions, your requisitions. It just may not be the same provider. Having said that, all of the care plan, though, is within your platform, so you'll be able to keep track of all that health history. It will all be there.
So this is a question from Audrey. Where there's a cost involved, is this reimbursement through GMS or just the initial 5 hours that is covered?
So when there's a cost involved, after the sponsored hours, you probably will have to pay out of pocket and get a reimbursement through your benefit plan. Ultimately, we're working with Greenshields to integrate our portal into their system so that there's a seamless integration in that area. But for now, that's not ready yet. So what will happen is you make a payment and come back to get it reimbursed.
This is from Jerome. Is there a selection of in-person counselors?
There is. So in the platform, if I may, because it just popped up for me, if I can share my screen again. You have the modality that you would like to select. And so if you select in person, the counselors that have in person available will pop up for you.
Thanks. Here's a question from John. Are there any problems coordinating coverage with other coverage that I might have? For example, accepting your counselors as a qualify as they qualified for coverage.
I'm not sure I
I
understand the
don't understand the
question.
question.
So I think it's coordinating coverage with maybe other coverage. So could you use two different?
From our perspective, you have the sponsored hours. However, whatever happens after those covered hours is really up to the individual on how they would like to,
Cover that.
cover it.
And that's the truth, really. So we encourage members to start with their sponsored hours. Don't go. Typically, most of the providers out there are on this network. So we'll advise that you start with the free sponsored hours first so that you save on your benefits. If you now feel that you still need additional hours, that's when you should go into your paid hours. But if you start with your paid hours, of course, we can't stop you, but it just means that you pay first before getting the benefits of the sponsored hours. So typically, we advise you start with your sponsored hours. When you're done with the sponsored hours and you need to go further, you can now get into paying and getting reimbursements. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question from Joanne. I live in BC. Can I see a counselor in person?
Yes, so if the counselor is available, and within your area, then absolutely you can. Now, let's say you're in a very remote part of BC, we may not have a counselor there already. You can reach out to our team and they can help facilitate finding a counselor in person within that area.
Again, maybe a comment here just to jump in is while this program is being launched to SRA members, regardless of where you live, the backbone and backstop of this is through Greenshield, which is a national organization. And so the national organization, there's a network of professionals across the country. And so whether you're in British Columbia or Ontario or Nova Scotia, the anticipation is that there will be counseling and professional services in your province that can provide support. You won't, if you live in British Columbia, you don't have to look for a counselor that lives in Saskatchewan. We want somebody that's close to where you live.
And that's a great point. If I can add, we have over 3,000 counselors within our network, coast to coast to coast. So, the chances are of us having an in-person counselor are quite large. It's, and again, like I said, if by chance we don't, we are pretty agile in recruiting to make sure that we make that match for you.
Okay, thanks. If you're traveling, this is from Gail, if you're traveling outside of Canada, is telemedicine available?
It is. And so this question comes up a lot because a lot of telemedicine providers are not able to provide services outside of Canada, but we are. So, we can provide the advice consultations out of country. Prescriptions, we are not able to do out of country, and that is just based on legislation and law. So that is kind of beyond our control, but we can offer the advice and consult out of country.
Thanks. Here's a question from Jerome. Will a telemedicine practitioner provide a summary to your regular GP?
They can if you wish to, so it's up to you. So you can make that request because again, you are the owner of your health record. So if you provide that consent, they can provide that to your general practitioner. Yeah.
This is a question from Joanne. If a partner is not a member, do they qualify for free counseling?
Yes, so it is open to spouses as well. And so they get their own allotment, the exact same. So they get their own 5 hours of counseling and 5 hours of each of the coaching.
Let's see, this is here. This one's from Virginia. Will the clinical psychology service that is available now through GMS still going to be available?
Yeah, so the benefits will still remain the same. This is an addition to the benefits. So this is the value add to the benefits that you have purchased with us. Nothing is changing on the benefit side. It's just an enhancement to what we have today.
Like with this relationship with GMS, it was very important to us to be able to say to you that if you are currently working with a counseling service through Homewood Health, that support and that service will continue. It won't, you don't shift. I mean, you can choose to shift, but if you're comfortable with the persons you're working with, you can continue to work with that individual through the process that you already have started. That's really important to us, and it was really important when we had this conversation with GMS, because even if our numbers are low in terms of what typically is happening in the marketplace, for anybody who's in the midst of getting some support, we do not want to leave you lost in the woods someplace. We want you to make sure you've still got support. And so it will continue until you have gone through that process.
Yeah, so all open cases will be concluded. If it takes 3 months, if it takes 6 months, until that case is closed, you still continue with Homewood, and we have a commitment to that already. So nothing, you're not going to be left hanging. You will finish every case with your current provider on the previous platform. That's it.
Thanks. We have a question from Joanne. Do you have counselors that deal with dementia?
I'd have to look at our specializations off the top of my head, but I mean, we have such a robust network. There's going to be counselors, I'm certain, that have specialization and background in it. I'd need to take that back though, just to confirm.
This one's maybe a little more technical question, but so how would a telemedicine doctor request my prescription from my pharmacy, requisition it for my blood work, and then transfer it to the lab? So how does...
So they would provide their requisition that you print off and you take to the lab, and prescription, you get the opportunity of selecting which pharmacy you would like them to send the prescription to. And yeah, so it's all done within the app. So you're able to select the pharmacy. So I know I used the one just down the street from me, and I was able to go the next day and grab that prescription. Similar with requisitions, they'll send it to you, and then you can go to wherever you need to, if it's blood work, for instance, and get that done.
Okay, just a question here. Why did GMS change service providers from Homewood Health to Greenshields?
Okay, so I'll take that. If you're very familiar with Homewood, you realize that what we have presented today is fundamentally better than what we had with Homewood. For starters, we didn't have anything like telemedicine. We didn't have all the legal, financial coaching that comes with this. So the primary reason for the change was because we wanted to provide better services to our members, the SRA members. That was the primary reason. The other thing we wanted a network that was, let me say, one, if not the best in the country, because she just mentioned to you that they have over 3,000 counselors. So we wanted the reach wherever you go, wherever you're living, you have a counselor, you have a medical practitioner that can respond to you. Those were the things that we considered, and we went out to do a research in the industry, and we found the best and started working with them. So it was primarily because we felt we needed to give more to you, the members, and bring in the new value out in the industry, telemedicine and stuff like that. And we wanted the best provider in the industry. So that's why we changed to Greenshields from Homewood.
Okay, I have a question from Rosanna. With regards to telemedicine, are you only able to ask personal questions, or can you ask a medical questions in regards to a grandchild or some kind of, maybe it might be an emergency or it's going on at the time?
So if you're not, sorry, just want to make sure I understand the question. In this, like the scenario, legal guardian, or you're just asking for advice for?
I think it's just a grandchild.
Yeah, you can definitely talk to a physician and get advice. They may direct you to, appropriate avenues as part of that service. But yeah, you can definitely reach out and ask questions that way.
I'm assuming it would have to be some kind of what we might call immediate family.
Yeah, in order for them to access fit, yes.
Yeah, madam. I can't phone
Like
up and ask questions about somebody else.
you can't, they wouldn't diagnose or anything. No, it has to be you as the person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at here. What is this is from Joanne. What is the financial amount for counseling with GMS?
Counseling with GMS, you have a benefit of $400 annually, if I'm not mistaken, that comes with your health benefit package. So that is where we expect that if you're paying $90, you still have at least minimum of 4 additional hours that you can add to your 5 hours of sponsored counseling. So I hope I answered the question very well. So we have a benefit package that has clinical counseling about $400 annually that you can add to the 5 hours of sponsorship.
Okay, thanks. This is from Eileen. We had this before, but this is another one on lab requests. How would test results be handled from telemedicine?
So similar to a regular doctor, so it would go back to the referring physician, and so they would get your results, and you'd be notified when they did that.
Okay. What is being offered for financial and legal assistance?
In what capacity?
I think it would be general questions or general.
Yep. So again, it works as advisory type services. So, those burning questions you might have for a lawyer or financial advisor. So it could be around budgeting questions. Wills and estate planning is a very popular one people reach out for. So, while the financial advisors may not do your taxes for you, they can help guide you and build a financial plan with you, things like that. And so again, it is a 30-minute consult with a lawyer or a financial advisor, and it can be accessed as many times as you would need to.
Thanks. So this is a question about can the medical consultation show up on your Saskatchewan e-health record system?
I don't believe so, but I can take that back to confirm.
Second part of the question, do the medical consultants have access to the Sask e-health records?
Yeah, I think it's kind of tied, so I'll take those two back.
Okay, yeah. What kind of wait times are there to get connected for services?
So for counseling, as I had mentioned, we really pride ourselves within 24 to 72 hours. And so that is from the time you do your matching to the time you get your first appointment. On the telemedicine side, generally 10 minutes and under is what is the average wait time. So it's pretty great.
Okay, maybe I need to add to this. In a crisis situation, yeah, so there's a crisis line that you need to hit. So if you are in a mental distress and it's a crisis, just hit that line. You don't have to wait for the 24, for the 72 hours. Yeah, it's just important to mention that in a crisis situation.
Yeah, in crisis situations, we can de-escalate in the moment. Yeah, to Randy's point, thank you.
This is probably a question for Randy. Will there be a copy of the presentation, or will we be able to review this again?
Well, all of our webcasts are posted on YouTube after the event. There'll be a link come on our saskatoonretirees.org website, and that through that you can access this to review this, or we've had many requests for this one from people who said they couldn't make it today, but they wanted to know if there's a chance they could look at it another day. And so, yes, it will be posted. It won't be posted immediately, but it'll be up in a few days.
I think you covered this off earlier, but where do we find our organizational code?
So there is communications that have likely gone out. So,
Exactly.
yeah, right, yeah.
So we sent the communication out already to all the members, and in that communication, there was a step-by-step process for you to go through to get registered. In that process, the organizational code is there and well stated. Again, if you have any issues, you can always reach out to us and we'll help you out. But I think communication is gone out already and you have it already. Again, it's not changing. So if you can go through this clip again, there's a place where Frida shot it on our video.
Yeah.
You can look at that and just use that too.
Just a comment. Isn't the organizational code essentially the same code that's on the back of your client card?
Yeah, so there's on your client card, you have the organizational code and you have your client ID. Yeah, so same
Yeah,
is that.
so it's the client. It's basically for the questionnaire. It's basically the client ID with GMS on the front. It's a 6-digit, I think, the 238 to 368, something like that, with a GMS on the front side of that. So it should be on the back of your plastic card that you'll have hopefully have handy. The same card you would have used to set up with your pharmacy or a dentist or other practitioner. Same card.
Here's a question about, for the telemedicine, are there specialists such as orthopedic specialists?
Yeah, so in the list, and I know I went through it very quickly, but there are like dermatologists, endocrinologists, so you can pick different specializations. Those do come at an additional cost. They're not covered as part of the unlimited. Those are GP visits specifically, but you do have access to specialists as well. And the list is within the app right there, so you know exactly what's available.
Here's a question. I'm currently receiving service under Homewood Health. So what happens now?
Okay, so if you have cases that are open at this point, you continue with that to conclusion. But if there are no cases that are open, you're now to register under the GMS Care Network and get your services with this current provider. Now, the good thing about it is if you have preferred counselors or providers that you were working with before, you can come online to this platform and search for them, So typically you have them still being part of this network and you can continue that relationship on GMS Care Network. So you probably will not be losing the history or the relationship. Most times you won't lose that relationship because they're most times on this platform too. But in terms of provider, you'll have to wind down on Homewood and come on GMS Care Network. But for every case that is open, you must conclude it on Homewood and get it closed fully before you come over to GMS Care Network.
Okay, thanks. Here's a question from Camille. Is the smartphone application accessible by someone that's legally blind? What about the website?
I know the website would be AOTA compliant. I'm not sure about the app. That's a good question. I don't know, Remy, if you know the answer to that off the top of your head.
No, I'm not very sure of that too. So we'll take that away.
Yeah, we'll take that one away.
I think we've answered this one again, but I'll just ask it again. So where can I go to see all the services available and how to access them?
Yeah, so you'll go to your GMS Care Network URL. So it's I just want to make sure I don't have it wrong here. So you'll go to app.gmscarenetwork.ca. And then you'll go in, you'll click sign up the very first time. That's where you'll need your org code. That's where you'll need your member ID. And then just sign in using any email you would like to sign up with, and away you go.
We'll need to get some of this information up on our website also for members if they choose
Yeah.
to go there.
Here's a question about costs. So how will my current costs be changed with the new expanded service?
Okay, so I know that we have a slight cost increase because, of course, the benefits are more and it's so much richer benefit. So there's a slight increase. I don't know what the final number will be, but I know that Randy and Harold will be meeting with them tomorrow. So I think that'll be tidied up tomorrow. But I know that it'll be slightly higher, nothing huge.
I mean, I guess that this is a component of the larger health benefit. The actual increase in cost of this component is $1 per member per month. It's going from $5 to $6 per month. That's bundled in. When you pay your monthly premium, you're paying for that whole bundle of services, whether it be, vision care, practitioners, travel, hearing aids, ambulance, that whole drugs, all that whole piece. Inside that, the so-called member assistance plan is one component. The Homewood Health piece was $5 per member, per couple per member, and the new piece through GMS, the Care Network, will go to $6.
Okay, great. This is a question from Charlene. Do I need a special app on my computer to video call with a therapist? So it's kind of a technical question.
Not on your computer, no. You simply just go to the website URL. Everything is done within the platform. So you're not going to be kind of booted out. You don't need to download anything. If you want to use it on your phone, you can download the app and use the GMS Care Network that way.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I've got so far.
So you think you pretty much done, caught them all?
I
For
think
now?
we've caught them all there, Randy.
Okay. We should say this, that questions that perhaps may come in the next few minutes, or questions that you saw 2 or 3 times where people said, well, we'll take that back, we need to sort that out. We do keep track of all the questions, and we do post the questions and the answers on our website following these webcasts. And so any questions that we got that we didn't choose to, we couldn't get on the air, or we chose not to because we needed to make sure we went back to get a good quality answer, will be posted in due time on the website. So we would encourage you to look at that, saskretirees.org, and that site is up and running. I can also tell you that we're in the process of doing a refresh on that site, so you will see a different look and feel on that by the end of May. And that, so that's that. But while it's running, it's still running. It won't be pulled down for construction. So thank you. If there's I'll look back one more time to you, Bill, if there's anything else that's there.
Okay, there is one here for Randy or Remy. Will GMS be considering, this is from Jerome, will GMS be considering a healthcare spending account?
Yes, so every year we look to improve our benefit plan. So I know we had a session with Randy and the team sometime in December. So if it's not part of the current year, if it's something that the members want, we're always open to have that, so we can always design and add that to the benefits coming in the future. So we're open to it, as long as it's something we want to have. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can just add to that, what Remy's talking about is that the Group Benefits Committee on behalf of the SRA and the board at SRA are working with GMS to consider the current design versus the changing needs of members. And so many of you have come out of employers where you have had some form of health spending account. And so we are looking at that right now. We have some indications from GMS that there will be some effort to look at some redesign of the current approach. And so we, I guess, need at this time to ask you to be a bit patient with us while we do some work in that area. And that, so what we've seen are some concepts. We're at a process where we are working with officials at GMS to sort out exactly how that might look, what options there might be, and that. So, but that's where we are. So it's this is feedback. I think that's I think you might have said that question from Jerome. That's feedback we've had before, and it is timely for us to work with our provider to look at the design. The design that's been in place has been very, very good for us, but for a long, long time. I mean, that design essentially has been in place and relatively unchanged since 1998 when it came in. Kind of a standard package, while the environment has shifted to more individual and customization. We have to stayed with a fairly standard package, in many cases at the request of members who said, I mean, they did say, keep it simple, keep it easy to understand, one size fits all. But increasingly, you're asking us to look at some customization. So we have to ask you to be patient with us. You will not see this change happen in the immediate future. It will take a little bit of time to sort through how to repackage and what additional options may be available.
Yeah, so I think we've captured most. There are some other questions about getting access to the information. So I hope we just direct everyone to our website or the GMS site to get that information. And maybe one other question for you, Randy, is what if we have more questions after this meeting is done?
Well, if there more questions will come in later, then we will make an effort to respond to them, and we will make an effort. We tend to get all of the information once we're done through our production group through Terry Scott VoiceWorks, and that. So we will get that information where we need to get reference back to Frida or to Remy. We'll do that and get those responses up on the website. Again, give us a little bit of time. I mean, just have to sort through some of this and get it put up on the website as soon as we can. And that's so, but yes, the answer, our goal is to make these webcasts as informative as possible. And so we know that time is somewhat limited in terms of what we can actually put in through the webcast, but we do take every question as important and will respond.
Great, thanks. I think that's a wrap for the questions.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Thanks so much. And to Freya and to Remy, thank you very much for your thoughtful responses. We recognize the question and answer period is always a little bit of an interesting process because we can script a certain amount of this, but there's places and times you're not quite sure what questions are going to come in. And thank you, Bill, for handling them so well. It's always a challenge on your end to sort through, and I understand in a note I got from Terry, there were lots and lots of questions today. So that's also good because we sometimes have to stretch out the question period if the questions are a little bit slow coming in. So to our presenters, thank you very much. We do appreciate your effort. We will have, I mean, this whole piece, I said it earlier, this whole piece will go up on YouTube. It'll be accessible through either direct to YouTube or certainly through our website and that. So there's another way to get to what you need. We moving along then, we as I said earlier in my comments, that we've begun to do these webcasts, and so we will continue to do that. This is probably it now until the fall. Ones that we see focused in the fall, requests that you've made to us once in the past. You had talked to us about wills and estates. Now, with some opportunity to come in through the care network, that might be one that we revisit. But that was one that was very clear in our earlier feedback as to an area that might be important to you. The other one that always draws interest is what's happening at Planera. Good old PIBA, now Planera. Everybody seems interested to know like what's happening, what could be happening with their pension. How might that change? Planera, as you know, has gone through some major change now, moving away a little bit away from government to a nonprofit. And so we anticipate an update from them in the fall as to where they're at. Those changes came into effect at January 1st of this year. And so that will give them ample time, I think, to put some of their pieces in place. So look forward to that. The other thing that you'll see on your screen, our annual general meeting is coming up May 23rd, 10 a.m. for people in the South Saskatchewan and the Regina area. It will be at the Atlas Hotel on South Albert, 10 o'clock. And you're welcome to join us there. We are adding a virtual component this year. So there will also be an opportunity for you to participate through a Zoom link and we will be working on that. So that'll also provide an opportunity for you to vote on any of the motions that come forward, as well as ask questions. So there's the information on that. The official notice just went out, I think last week. And so that's around. We will continue to work towards pulling that together. So I think with that, we are approaching the end of this webcast. So it's my honor and my role to thank everyone for participating. To Priya and to Remy, thank you again for your contributions. That's always helpful, makes the presentations roll forward well. And to Harold and Bill, thank you for participating. We do things as a team at SRA, and so it's important to make sure that acknowledge the support of others that are also volunteers and also providing time and talent to this kind of event. And to Terry Scott and your crowd at VoiceWorks and through Webcast Canada, we deliberately have added this component of production to ensure that what comes forward and onto the airwaves for members is of good quality and professional as we can make it. So it's important for that. And so thank you for that. At the end, there is a short survey. We ask after every webcast, we ask members if you'd stay on a moment or two, do a quick survey. We are interested in your feedback. We hope that this event was helpful for you. We hope that you received some information that's useful. You tell us, because our goal is continuous improvement. Our goal is to make these better and to continue to raise our own bar. And so if you do that quick survey for us, that would be helpful. So with that, I again would just say thank you to everybody. Thank you, members, for joining us. We certainly appreciate your interest and your time. And this is a record turnout for us. I think the number I saw as we got going actually rose up to 137 logged in. So that's a terrific response. Thank you very much. I should note, I did a quick peek before we went on. Of our members now, 89% are now able to access ourselves and the care network, etc., digitally. And so we now are approaching that point where nearly all of our members have access in a digital world. And so that also changes how we communicate and brings these kind of opportunities right to your front door. So with that, let me just say again, thank you. And for now, we'll say goodbye, and we'll say to many of you, we'll see you in person or we'll see you digitally at our annual meeting. So thanks so much for now. See you soon. Bye-bye.